Well, he's been called the definition of white privilege for his outspoken views, but for others, he's the ultimate anti-woke hero.
He is the actor and musician Laurence Fox, who's found himself at the centre of a media storm for his views on racism, wokeness and vegans.
And he joins us now. Now, Laurence, I've got to say, 90% of what you've been saying, I'm bang up for this, right? This woke thing is out of control. There's a self-righteousness to it where liberals have become completely intolerant, illiberal. They want us all to lead their lives. And if you don't, you have to be shamed, abused, cancelled and so on. But I want to start with something where I don't agree with you. And it's this row that's blown up about what you said about the movie 1917. Which has a Sikh soldier in one of the scenes. And you took exception to this. I'm going to repeat what you said here. This is the interview go.
How is it institutionally racist, Laurence, to include a historical reality in a film?
I think there were a lot of soldiers from all over the former empire, weren't there, fighting in World War I. So I suppose it would have been less incongruous to me if he'd got on the truck to a whole regiment of Sikh soldiers.
But Sam Mendes is a storyteller.
It's a wonderful storyteller. It's a great movie.
He tells a story in his own way. Felt it was important to tell this story. As I say, it is something that happened. Sikhs fought with British forces, not just with their own regiments. That's a historical fact. To call it institutionally racist to tell that story is extraordinary.
I don't think it's institutionally racist. I'm saying I think probably more Sikhs would have been less... It feels sort of like with just one Sikh soldier there, you start going, oh, did the Sikh soldiers serve with the English soldiers? I'm not a historian, so I don't know. But it just felt incongruous.
Do you regret saying that? Because it's slightly... I would say of all the things that you've said in the last 2 weeks, I've been cheering you on right to that point, but I was like... That, to me, I didn't really get what you were getting at. I felt it was sort of slightly insulting, actually, to Sikh soldiers who'd served. Many, hundreds of thousands of Indians served in World War I. Yeah. It felt to me it's an unfortunate thing to have said.
Well, I mean, as you've noticed, I say quite a lot of unfortunate things, but I think it's really important that one is able to express one's opinion, and for that opinion to be attacked or taken down with bad ideas, taken down with better ideas and stuff like that. But I also think people shouldn't be terrified to say what they feel. And I think what sort of world do we want to live in? Do we want to live in a world where people are frightened and every single part of everything they say is picked apart and made to be problematic? Or should people be allowed to express themselves and risk offending other people with their opinions? And I think probably if you want a more cohesive society, we should live in a society where people are free to express themselves.
You've been lauded and ripped apart in equal measure. Have you been taken aback by the reaction to your Question Time appearance?
I've definitely got a small bout of hopefully temporary insomnia. And, yeah.
Are you worried about what you've said?
Well, I've had death threats and I've got children, so...
You've had death threats?
Yeah, I have. And it's not pleasant.
In the last week?
Yeah.
Why do people want to kill you?
Well, I think people... I'm not sure. I think when you don't have an argument, your rage starts to increase, doesn't it? And I'm still, I think what I said on Question Time, I 100% stand behind. I think I said what I felt and I continue to believe it.
You said that Britain is the most tolerant, lovely country.
Yeah.
And to a large extent that's true, although as you've experienced yourself personally, there are pockets of intolerance and less than loveliness. It's so easy to throw the card of racism at everybody, and it's really starting to get boring now.
Yeah, it is.
Which people then said, saying stuff racist is boring. You weren't saying that. You were specifically saying, I think,
playing the
race card where it actually doesn't exist is boring.
But people being concerned about racism isn't a boring race card.
No, I think what's most important is we seek out instances of racism and we join together, all of us, to condemn those. But what we don't do is see colour everywhere in people. I think it's very divisive. And in that instance, particularly on Question Time, she was the one that brought up colour of skin, and I wasn't. I had no interest in it. And also, my opinion...
Well, because she was concerned about the coverage of Meghan and whether that was fuelled by racism.
It's free. She had the freedom of speech.
Are you worried about the impact on your career as an actor? Because the acting world is very woke in many ways. Are you worried about that?
We'll have to wait and see. But does one want to work in a career where you have to have the right opinions? Because I don't. I don't think art is going to be improved if everybody has exactly the same opinion.